G'day. We've just finished, or nearly finished, our one-day biodynamic workshop here at Hannah, and an old uni buddy of mine, Chris Eggert, legend organic dairy farmer extraordinaire from Warhope. You see, even the guinea fowl love the man. Chris, you've got a fascinating story. You're a fourth-generation dairy farmer at Warhope. Can you tell us what you're doing now? What's your current farming general practice, and why you changed from the other generation, the three other generations?
Well, I guess to start with, we'll talk about why we changed. We're forced to change, really. We have deregulation in the dairy industry, and we're looking for a different direction, and organics sprung up as a possibility, and we pursued that and basically changed from being very conventional farmers to organic farmers overnight, which, looking back, wasn't a very smart move.
Why is that?
Well, your system's not used to, well, it's so used to, like the chemical farming system, like the fertilisers, urea, and
when you say actually like the soil, the landscape, your farm as a thing wasn't used to it.
It was dead. Yeah, it was like so. Because we were using it, we used to have to use more and more because the soils had become so unhealthy. The animals had become unhealthy, and we were using more and more antibiotics, and our vet bills were increasing, and we were on that treadmill, and it was hard to get off. So the more fertiliser we used to have to use more fertiliser to grow more grass, because their input costs were rising all the time, and then we'll be using more pharmaceuticals.
Yeah. And so the chemical cycle.
Yeah, and I suppose we're addicted to it, I suppose.
You said something interesting last night at dinner. It was a great line about urea, and it's the addiction.
It's like an addiction. It's like agriculture's ice, I suppose.
Yeah.
So to get off that, we felt a fair bit of pain to start with. Not just like on the farm, but like socially as well. Because everyone thinks you're a bit crazy and whatnot. So, but as we got into it, and we read more and experimented and started to believe, like we saw little, small changes, like some worms appearing or the cows becoming a bit healthier. That was pretty significant to start straight away. And then you get hungry for more information, and then find there's farmers actually out there doing it, and they're not necessarily spruiking what they do.
So you tapped into them. You got
tapped into a few of them, not necessarily just dairy farmers, but some grain farmers, beef farmers, doing a similar thing, and most of them were full of encouragement for what we did. So, and then we went to conferences, and one book would read one book, or it'd lead to reading another book, or we go to one conference and lead to meeting people, and go to another thing. Might be soil biology or about the cation exchange capacity, and all those things combined. To suppose where we are now, we're pretty big on, we make a fair bit of compost, and very big on recycling everything on the farm. So all the cow manure, and we buy a lot of carbon onto the farm. We're still trying to build carbon, and
carbon to improve organic matter in the soil?
Organic matter in the soil, and food for soil life. So as your farm becomes healthier, you get more life in your soil. As you got to feed it, it becomes hungrier. So, but it increases your humus content in your soil. So your irrigation's less, and that sort of thing, and the organic matters more. So when you do want to irrigate, if your water's a bit salty or something like that, it'll buffer it. It gives you a bit more confidence to do things that you shouldn't. You don't really want to do, but you have to do. But it gives you, you don't really want to go irrigating, but if you're running out of feed and you've got that resource at hand, you use it.
So I guess it would be fair to say that the landscape, the soil, the pastures are more forgiving because they've got that capacity.
Absolutely, and that's what we've found, and probably we've been doing it for 18 years, and probably the last 2 years, I don't know why it's really started to soar. We've grown pretty good, pastures, and that most of the time now.
So if you're up in the Northern Rivers,
North Coast,
Chris and his family, and Jimmy's over. Come over here, Jimmy. Jimmy's 13. Do you mind? It's going to go viral as soon as you step in there. He's like you're like the you're the Justin Bieber of the organic dairy industry. Look at the Biebernator, the Jiminator. So Jimmy's 13, and you're part of the part of the farm, part of the show, and you've been here. What the wonderful thing is that Chris brought Jimmy to our one-day course, which you've just nearly completed today. What did you get? What sort of takeaways did you get from today, either of you, that you think, well, that's useful, I can take that home, or I can think about it? Because what I'm going to do is catch up with you in 6 months' time and see how you went. So there's a bit of a challenge here, but no pressure. What was there any takeaways from today, Jimmy? Apart from having a couple of days off school.
And some good food and stuff.
Good food.
Thank you.
I think it's in. Yeah, you go.
Learn about the preparations and building the organic matter in the soil.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And you know, for a fellow your age, and you've been living on farm the whole time, I mean, what a great stepping stone, whether it's biodynamics or just living on an organic farm. What a great stepping stone for understanding.
The farms have become a place where the kids enjoy. Like, so they can milk, like our youngest son's 8, and he can pretty comfortably milk cows now, and because they're quite calm.
Yeah.
You know, like when we milk the cows, they're calm. They don't pee and poo all over us and kick and whatnot. I found that was one of the first things that happened after we got off that other stuff, was they become a lot more content, and so it becomes an enjoyable place for the kids to work. You know, there's not a lot of yelling and swearing, and I mean that still happens sometimes, but not very often. You know, like, it's a nice place to work, and we've got we've got a chook business now, like we have organic eggs. You know, they can feed the chooks. They can collect the eggs, you know, and it's meaningful work.
Yeah.
Like, they're doing meaningful work,
Yep.
and we don't force them to do it, but they seem to enjoy doing it. And you know, and they know what, you know, the soil. Like, I get excited about seeing the soil healthy, and you know, and I'll pass it on. Like, they all think I'm a bit mad, but
Mad Dad.
But anyway,
Is there sniffing?
They're sniffing stuff.
Is that there sniffing soil?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. So.
I've forgotten my next question.
That's all right. Well, what about today? What do we?
Oh no, one thing was so before, when you were conventionally farming, dairy farming, the comparison was now they're really calm. So before, the cows, when they were being milked, there was, what was it, behaviour thing, or just
they just come in and shit all over you and whatnot, and kick quite a bit. You know, I mean, they weren't that bad, but there's definitely a big difference. They're a lot more content. Yeah, absolutely. And you know, like, people can be around them and they won't move about. Like, whereas before, like, if a stranger walked in there, they went mad. You know what I mean? Or the stranger walked down in the paddock amongst them. You know, it's just like, and it all had to do with the quality of the food they were eating and that sort of thing. It all got out of balance. So that's the big, you know, the big difference.
Big difference. And tell me, one last question. Back to that question. Today, learning, Chris, what did you learn, or any takeaways, or you know?
Well, definitely, like, every time we come to this, you learn. You know, you talk to people, different people, and get different ideas. But the system we have going now, this will fit in really easily, I think. And so it's just a matter of getting back and getting organised and getting the preps out on the farm. It doesn't seem too difficult to start with. You know, you can buy the preparations and put them out, and then as we get the confidence in, like, getting the preparations out on time and hopefully seeing some results, and you know, you move into the next phase of making the preparations.
Well, you've got a dairy farm, so you've plenty of lactating cow manure there.
Yeah.
And if you just bought some of those compost preps, you've already got all the manure.
And we make our own compost already, so we can sort of put the preps in
those composts as well.
The compost piles and get them out quickly that way. So it shouldn't be too big a deal. Before I just thought it was a bit biodynamics was a bit complicated and a bit serious, I suppose. Like,
we're very
us,
serious around here, Chris.
But you know, knowing Charlie for a long time, I thought, well, if he can do it, I can do it. Can't be that hard.
If that Muppet can do it, I'll not sure if I take that as a compliment or not. So I was saying before that the Eggert family produces. If you're up the Northern Rivers and you drink the organic Norco milk, these guys produce it.
That's where it comes from. Yeah, the Norco organic milk.
Fantastic.
Partly comes from our farm, but they're seeking more farms because
Yes.
of the, the demand for the milk is growing. People are, it used to be a warm fuzzy thing to drink organic milk or eat organic food, but now I think people are realising that we need to have some decent nutrition in our food, and that's the only way you're going to get it is from farms that are looking after their soil.
Give the farm a plug. Ox Hill Organics
Ox Hill
is the actual farm, and the eggs.
The eggs are called Ox Hill Organics, and just a little red bank dairy farm at the moment. But yeah,
Look them up. Lovely people. Well, everyone else is lovely. I'm not sure about this guy here. Chris, so good to see you again.
Yeah.
Jimmy, great to see you again too.
Thanks,
And I'll catch up with you at Warhope
sometime.
soon.
Thanks for having us.
Pleasure.